Hello and welcome to Next Stop News. This is a branch of the Smartquest devoted to informing and communicating with my fan base as well as the overall transit community about current events within the system. Here is the list of topics we shall discuss in this month's installment. With that said, let's jump in. Now, the big thing on everybody's mind is the recent retirement of the R32s. Now, you guys all know what that means. The last half-cabbed, RFW-equipped, 60-foot SME type has now left us for good. This signifies the end of an era. The R32 was also the only old tech train still in service that possessed a flip dot, the last model without a door chime, and a symbol and a classic look of the C line. I know they ran on the J, but its symbol is more so, the J train symbol is more so the R42. So an iconic symbol of the C line is gone now. The R32s were the oldest cars in service, leaving behind a tremendous legacy and 55 years worth of service. These were extraordinarily and incredibly awesome and fun cars. The brakes were astoundingly loud too. Now, for personal experience, I started with these cars around 2013 on the C line. Then in 2014, I fanned a little bit on the J. When they came to the J, there was like this GO with where they were going to Broadway Junction, and they would go there. Then in 2014, they also came to the A, so I started fanning the A. Then in 2015, I fanned them on the J and Z once again. 2016, I didn't really fan them too much, but when I started going to school in Brooklyn, I started fanning them on the A and C, and I would catch them a lot on the A from 2016, 2017, even 2018. Then 2019, I caught them even more on the A, and then 2020, I focused on catching them wherever I could, which was mostly the C, but sometimes the A as well, and getting my last rides out to Far Rockaway, because like I said, that bet I made with myself, that you haven't lived until you've ridden an R32A to the Rockaways. And so I was able to ride out to the Rockaways twice, which I'm extremely happy about. However, I did sense that their time to go was near, and that they were beginning to give out, brake-wise, sound-wise, generator-wise, heater-wise maybe, etc. I did consider the possibility of their safety declining due to age, but I don't know. That's what I meant by the heat thing. I thought like maybe they would start overheating due to their age. The announcement was made on April 24th, Friday, and was official as of April 27th, which was Monday. So we therefore say rest in peace R32s, September 1964 to April 27th, 2020. Now, we know that the R32 started out in 1964 on the N and Q lines, but it is highly unlikely that they will run them there if they choose to do a final run, because there's a lot of ifs for this final run. First of all, if the coronavirus pandemic ends, and it's probably not even going to happen until they develop some form of vaccine. That way they ensure the safety. The earliest I could see it happening is maybe in the summer, but I can't even see that. It's a big stretch. And the second if is it's probably not going to run on the inner queue even if it does run because of the whole Montague tunnel issue. The routes which it can run on are the A, C, E, F, G, J, M, and Z lines. That's basically it. Other than that, it can't run. So what I would really like to see is them do a final run on the F line like I mentioned in my previous video. That would be pretty cool, and it would fit well. I mean, you would have no problems, the train would go express. It would be one last way of saying sayonara to old tech trains on Queens Boulevard line. And it would overall be fun for everybody. There would be no problem with running it on the F line. So now let's talk about the repercussions. it is vital to discuss the implications that this decision has upon the B division as a whole. R46s. During their last 3 to 6 years of their life, which are upcoming, they will be worked into the ground. With them no longer being spares as commonly as they were before, you'll find them on the A, maybe the B, who knows? The A, B, C, G, N, Q, and W, with them being on the A, G, N, and Q full time. A spare factor of around, let's say, like around 10 to 30 trains will now be like 5 to 6 trains, or these are like estimates. And you'll see turbo whales everywhere, a signature of the subway along with the R160s. Fans will flock to the R46s more instead of the SMEs, which just retired, before the R211s take them away as well. R68s. With Pitkin unable to deposit any more trains to other yards, in this case Coney Island, 2768 to 2775 had to be reborrowed for Coney Island as part of the Jamaica fleet swap. This could have been avoided by trading 5878 to 85 to Coney Island from Pitkin and keeping the 32s to replace them and running them instead on the A to make up for what was lost. R179s. These are now useful and have succeeded in accomplishing their intended purpose and ultimate goal of replacing all R32s and R42s. They really should have only ordered 10 car sets for both the A and C, because then that would have been epic, but that's a different story. Now they will be heavily relied upon if things return to normal, being a crucial part of the fleet. They cannot fail now, no longer being fleet expanders but direct replacers. They should also bump extra 179s from East New York to Pitkin to help the C out, but that's just a general opinion within the railfan community. Jamaica fleet swap. The 3 remaining R46s left at Jamaica have now officially left, now being off of the R and at Coney Island. Jamaica is now officially 100% R160. The last 3 R46s were numbered 5498 to 5501, 5506 to 5509, 5570 to 5577, 5734 to 37, and 5802 to 5805. The last R46R ran on April 9th. So fleet assignments will remain as I said in the last video, if things do return to a form of normalcy, with potential usage of R46s by the B line, and more R68s on Broadway, possibly, who knows, maybe. Okay, so due to COVID-19, you know, a lot of stuff has changed. The subway has become a crazy wasteland, the wild, wild west. You got the homeless and all these people mixed in with the essential workers that actually have to do jobs, and it's just a mess down there. The B, W, Z, and shuttle are all suspended because they are duplicative service and they're not needed right now. And everything, like I said, some things are going local, other things are routed differently, etc. And a lot of people were out due to the pandemic, as they would say, the crews we have available. The most interesting thing coming out of this train-wise would be the local A to Lefferts and the express A to Far Rock, as well as full-length G trains and R160s on the G once again. Now, you know that you shouldn't be going out to fan that if you are, so let the essential workers do their thing. With the buses, the Bronx has been hurting heavily. You already know about that. They've had to borrow buses from Manhattan just to facilitate service. And it's led to some pretty cool owners up there in the Bronx, but still, like I said, I don't recommend fanning all that. Only if you have to go out and you see it, it's okay, that's nice, let me take a quick picture, click, and then that's it. And other than that, as you know, the electric buses are not in service at this time, because how can they be? You don't want to wear out their battery any more than you have to. So they're basically in storage right now. They can't be used. They're as valuable as the R32s and R42s are at the moment. The subway, I hear, is getting very dirty and like it's getting nasty. The buses, as you know, they're chained off. I saw the signs myself when I did go out for grocery shopping, and I was like, whoa, man, that's crazy. And they have like the chains and everything. It's like, wow. And apparently I'm hearing reports of articulated buses showing up on routes where they don't usually show up, such as the B41 maybe, so to promote the social distancing. And I think the BX28 as well. And also there's been, as you know, reports of LFSs from Staten Island showing up on express routes, which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And remember 6274? The last XD60 delivered on February 7th. That is now in the LaGuardia Link scheme and is now in service on the Q70 Select bus. And it's okay, I guess. I mean, like, eventually 6274 to 6286 are going to replace 7445 to 7451, I believe, that are on the Q70. So the Q70 is going Arctic soon. And as you know, like, the hybrid's still waiting on the LFSC. I still want to see if the pilot is going to come this month, and if it does, where it'll land. If not, then it is what it is. The XDE 40, that's not slated to come anytime soon, so I'm not even thinking about that. Prevost 1300, it might come, it might not, who knows. It would be nice to see that if this thing ends, maybe in the summer, who knows. Or we could still be stuck in the house in the summer depending on COVID-19's nature. Because remember, this is a novel virus and we do not yet know its full functionality. Old gens and XD60s, if like there is some kind of relief with the pandemic, I'm thinking about possibly fanning some old gens before they retire. Maybe the hybrids, the new hybrids, if they do come in this early, but we don't know. The XD60s, maybe fanning a couple of those. Otherwise, it's just going to be like maybe reading, biking, and staying in the house. Train simulators. So, while people are stuck at home, everybody has resorted to some form of train simulator. I have SSNY as well as trains. A couple people I know have Train Sim World. I watch BVE Madness. I think it's pretty cool. Some people are playing Open BVE. Some people are even playing Roblox. Everybody has their own form of train simulator that they're operating. And it's pretty cool. It's definitely awesome. Like, do what you gotta do with the train simulator stuff. The thing is awesome. Now, me personally, I love SSNY because of the fact that you can operate the whole entire 6 line. And I love trains because you can literally build whatever line you want. So I'm currently working on this railway system, also working on the F line, my F line, the H line, as well as the 8 and a couple other lines, just editing, just a couple tweaking here and there. And besides that, I love how the M3 has been slated to be released in Train Sim World. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna love seeing an M3 in Train Sim World. I don't know if it's like a mod or installation or extra pack that you have to order or an update, but it'll definitely be incredibly cool to see Long Island Railroad M3s in Train Sim World. If I'm not mistaken, there was also Metro North M3 installed for one of the games, either BVE or Train Sim World, and that's pretty cool as well. So that's basically it. The rest is just gonna be my random thoughts on stuff. So like the A line, that's a pretty cool line. That's my line though, gotta say. The B line, even if it doesn't get R46s, it's still a pretty awesome line. Like, that's basically the line I sleep on. Like when I come from school, and I used to go to Brooklyn Tech, when I was still able to go to Brooklyn Tech, I used to take the B train home and just like, I love how it's like express, but then that like local part where you gotta go through all those stops is just crazy. Well, I mean, I would do it if I was really tired, but if you had to take an express, I would definitely do that because it gets me home much, much quicker. And I hate how the express is so like packed though. That's crazy. D train is a pretty good train. C train is a good train as well. But I do like the A more. Even though the A can be incredibly boring with just like R46s. It's like they need to spice it up with the 179s. It's 179s to Rockaway Park. Don't always make like the Rockaway Park train a 46. Sometimes make it a 179, you know? The E train, you already know how I feel about the E train. I gave it the nickname Homeless on November 25th. And it's still a homeless line, even more now. But at least it has the 8000s, which I like, the R160s. The F as well. I like the F. The F is a good line. The G is a pretty good line. It's very peaceful. Loved when it went out to Coney Island. Very cool. J and Z used to be a Railfans hotspot. That title went to the A last year. And also, I think there was another line it went to. Maybe the R. Oh, the N, Q, and W. Those lines too. They became the new Railfan hotspots. And before that, it was the 7. Everybody was flocking to the 7 line. And also the 6 as well before that. So there will always be some form of Railfan line, that one particular line that all Railfans flock to. When the R42s came back, it was definitely the J again. The J and Z are good lines. I like them a lot. I like the 7. I like the B division version of the 7, basically. Both go to good points. Main Street in Jamaica, very good, very vital. The L, that's a good line. I like it with the 143s, 160s. That's good. The M, it's okay. I like the Myrtle Branch though. The Myrtle Branch is very cool. The N, Q, and W, good lines, good lines. The R is now new tech. I'm happy about that. You have more space on the R. Now it could hit that like 11th Street curve when it goes into the 60th Street tunnel. It can hit it much faster now because it doesn't have to swing its fat body over the curve. I think that's it for B division. The 1 train is good. That's my home line. 2 train, very useful. 3 train is fun. 4, 5, and 6, they're very serious lines. 6 is pretty cool. I don't really touch the Bronx that much, so I'm not really into that area. But I think it's pretty cool how they all go to the Bronx, you know what I mean? The 7, like I said, cool. Shuttle is cool. And basically, I guess all that's left now are depots. So, you got Manhattanville. You already know how I feel about that. Loved it with the greens and oranges. The next gens are okay. I like how it's still all around, but I definitely want to see Manhattanville get some new buses later on down the line. Quill is awesome. You already know. Takes great care of their buses. Has extremely rare buses, so awesome. Mother Claire Hill, good depot. Very nice, very calm, soothing. Tuskegee Airmen is epic. I loved when it got the 2017 XD60s. That was amazing. Now for the Bronx. Eastchester, good depot to see your childhood. To visit the old buses. And basically, they have the next gens. It's pretty cool how they used to have RTSs and B lines. All I'm going to do for today is Manhattan, the Bronx, and Staten Island. That's all I'm going to do. So you also have Gun Hill. I like how it has LFSs and a couple next gens. But the LFSs are the really cool part. I mean, 8504 started out at Gun Hill, so that's pretty cool. Then you have Kingsbridge Depot. You already know, home of my favorite LFSs on the M100 and BX7. I am a huge fan of that. And it's cool how it has a couple next gens left as well. But I like seeing the remnant of the XD60s there. They used to run on the M100, which was amazing. Now, West Farms, that is the depot of the Bronx. If you're not a West Farms fan, I don't know what to say for you. I mean, they have had everything Orion 5 CNGs, and also diesel in their days of retirement. 7 CNGs, RTSs, Nova Bus RTSs. They even had an LFS at one point, which was, by the way, my favorite LFS, 8360. And they now possess the XN40s and XN60s, which are incredibly epic buses. So it's like, yes sir. And let me see, I'm just racking my brain. I think they might even had a New Flyer C40LF, the old version before. But now they have the new C40, so that's awesome as well. And they used to have the D60s, don't have those anymore. But now it's pretty cool how they have the LFSAs. And they have a lot of LFSAs actually now, but it's pretty much evenly matched with the XN60s. And the XN60 is awesome, that's it, period. And for Staten Island, I basically group all the depots in the same bucket, because they all have LFSs except for Castleton, I believe, which has the 3rd gens. But I consider the 3rd gens like assimilated LFSs. Like, it's like you're not a real Orion, you're an LFS. That's it. It's like your technology is not that of an Orion, a real like Orion, like the Orion 5s or the Orion 7 1st gens, old gens, 2nd gens, 2nd gen pluses even. Oh, by the way, you know that 6745 ran on the BX19 back when they did the snow thing? But sadly, I didn't see it. I would have definitely traded the next gen I saw for that old gen, because that would have been pretty cool. But anyways, I like how they do have blue buses. They got Omni like Manhattanville, and they're pretty good out there. The LFSs, like I say, are pretty sturdy. So they got sturdy buses. That's a good thing. You want to have a bus that's sturdy and reliable. I'm happy that they no longer have the next gens. But the next gens there were exotic. I do consider them the exotic 4200s, as they still had the check marks on the side as well as the modified signs. So that's pretty cool. Only depot to have the bulk of the express buses, the Sims, and I like how they changed it from X to Sim. That was pretty cool. We already discussed the 3rd gens. As you know, my favorite route is the S53. I accidentally took the S93 once. That was a mistake. Almost got lost out in Staten Island. I was like, what the heck have I done, man? I took the 93 instead of the 53. It's like, oh my goodness, why did I do that? I should have just taken the 79 Select Bus. But I could not find the Select Bus Service ticket machine. So I just said, I can't get on without a ticket. So it's like, not even try. Might as well not even try. I really like how the LFSs, how they all leave at the same time. It's like spectacular. It's like, yes. But I do not like how the white LFSs kind of outnumber the blue LFSs on Staten Island. I would like to see more blue LFSs if I do go back. Staten Island Railway is pretty cool. That's pretty epic. It has the 44s. That's like a railway of its own. Very peaceful. Sometimes I go out to Staten Island to clear my head because it's very cool. The ferry's good too. The ferry's good. Been on it twice. And besides that, like the ferry terminal as well is awesome. Like you could get some good food there. You get some good soup. I got Abo Pan once. That was amazing. One time I even walked from St. George all the way to Stapleton because I did not feel like paying $2.75 again. Keep in mind this was in the summer when the student metro cards don't really work. I like keeping my money tight, that's all. You could get up to very high speeds on the Staten Island 44s. So they're very fun to ride. I recommend, if you haven't ridden one, go ride one, man. Wonder what the 211S's will be if they arrive like within a short time frame. Like if Staten Island still gets them, that would be pretty amazing to see 211S's. Like what will they be like? Will they be like open gangway where you could just walk through all 4 cars? That would be like pretty interesting. I wonder if they could have different sanctions on them than the mainline 211s would have. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. Grasmere, very good station. I like it a lot. They got like a sea town out there, so it's pretty cool. And you could go right from Staten Island to Bay Ridge or the South Ferry. That's awesome. And the Verrazano Narrows itself is pretty amazing. And lastly, my last opinion on the whole matter is I like how Yukon, the Moose Depot, and Charleston all have LFSs. And I still like how Staten Island is still retaining their flip dot express buses, even though they still have the Prevost. Oh yeah, I've been to Tottenville once. Very peaceful. You feel like you've accomplished like a heck of a goal once you've been out there. It's like, I've reached the edge of the city, the southernmost part of New York. It's like, what? It's like, that's awesome, man. Oh, but Tottenville is the southernmost part though, so that's pretty cool. It's like, yes sir, reached the bottom part of Staten Island and New York State and all that stuff. Final remarks and new developments. The L train has reopened as of Sunday, April 26th, so the construction with the cables in the tunnel is done. So that means no more M to 96, sadly. And also, speaking of the M, it's been 2 years since the Myrtle Viaduct was completed. And you know about that jazz where the R42s had to run on the M shuttle and all that. Also, the C train unsuspended on April 29th, only running R46s and R179s as the 32s retired. And last but not least, the stations will close from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. as of April 30th to make sure that they are properly disinfected in our effort to fight coronavirus. As for the rest of May, we'll have to see where we go from here. If the weather gets warm enough to knock the virus out, it's somewhat likely, but it's not fully likely. If it does, then we'll see what happens. Also, not to forget, May 19th or May 20th is going to be the 4th anniversary of the Blue Buses landing in New York City, specifically beginning to serve the Baisley Park and JFK routes. Hope you enjoyed this wacky edition of Next Stop News. It definitely went in a different direction than I intended it to. Please subscribe and stay blessed.